Hey, good evening. Welcome to my kitchen. If we haven't met before, I'm Monique Bradley. This is the YourFixTV studio, which is also doubles as my home, and here I do all my recipe testing to create low carb recipes that have absolutely transformed my health. So like I said, if we haven't met before, welcome to my place. I've lost more than 40 kilos in weight, and now I'm in a position where I get to share all these really cool recipes so that if you're following a low carb way of eating or a low carb or keto lifestyle, I'm sharing all the treats so that you don't have to ever feel like you're missing out again. Tonight's treat is something that a lot of low carbers and keto followers actually miss out on, and it's bread. And I know here in New Zealand, which is where I am, it's starting to get a little bit colder and everybody's looking for comfort food. So I automatically think of bread, fresh bread straight from the oven, loaded up with butter. Now, if I eat wheat-based bread, the first thing that happens is I start to bloat, I get symptoms of IBS, my stomach distends massively, and I feel really lethargic. I get brain fog, and that happens within about 30 minutes of trying to process all those carbohydrates. So this recipe tonight is loaded with fiber, it's low carb, it has a base of almond meal and psyllium husk, and the great thing is it will clear out your digestion, it will encourage you to drink more water, which is always good because psyllium husk takes a lot of water to digest through your system, and you can eat it without getting the brain fog. You won't have a carbo coma, guaranteed, but it tastes really good. So a lot of the bread recipes that are low carb that I've tried online are disgusting. They taste really eggy, they smell disgusting, the texture isn't right. This one's been adapted so that you'll get what you need, which is a nice crust on the outside and a soft center. And the great thing is you can use this for toast as well, which is wonderful. And in fact, today I used this bread to make my favorite French toast, and it was absolutely amazing, all low carb. So first of all, hello to you, everybody watching, Marcio Molinari, Peter Haynes, Sunny Panasser, Ayla Bradley, my beautiful niece watching tonight, Kerry and Graham Barstow, good to see you. Hi, Judy Cranston, Rosina Wilton, good to see you. Rachel Thompson, hello to you watching from a restaurant tonight. Lynn Nolan, good to see you tonight too. Jeanette Keeble, good to see you as well. Awesome. Say hi, let me know that you're here, and also if this is the first time we've met, let me know where in the world you're watching from, because I might be sharing ingredients you may have a different name for in your country. So first of all, 2 cups here of almond meal. Almond meal has been amazing. I make the best chocolate self-saucing pudding, and it's all cakey and spongy, just like you would make with wheat flour, but it's all using almond meal. A great recipe. If you want it, let me know. So we've got 2 cups of almond meal in there. Also into the mix, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of psyllium husk fiber. Now, if you've ever used psyllium husk fiber, it's very interesting. This is what will stop your bread recipe becoming really crumbly. So if you've tried other recipes that have a base of coconut flour or almond meal, you'll notice they kind of are quite crumbly when you come to slice it. This is the baby that's going to hold it all together, mixed in with the eggs and the other ingredients that we're going to add here tonight too. Now, psyllium husk fiber is really interesting because when you add fluid to it, it kind of fizzles a little bit and kind of expands right in front of you. So it's a really interesting ingredient to work with. We need a raising agent as well. Our next dry ingredient is 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. So you're going to throw that into the mix. Now, one of the things that I love is this is a teaspoon of salt, by the way. One of the things I love about this is it's a really low maintenance, low fuss recipe. It's like how I want the rest of my life to be, really, really easy. Those are your dry ingredients there. I'm going to mix those through purely because I don't want a pocket of baking powder in the middle of my bread. I want all those ingredients mixed thoroughly. Now, once you add your wet ingredients, you don't want to overmix this because it will become quite tough. You want a really nice, soft bread in the middle. Okay, when it comes to your liquid ingredients, one of the ingredients we have here is 1/4 cup, in fact, of coconut oil. So that's a measured amount in solid form, and I'm going to pop that in the microwave, and we're going to pop that into liquid form now, about 30 to 40 seconds in the microwave. And then we're going to add that. Now, the next liquid ingredient, eggs. Now, what really amazed me about this recipe is it's got 4 eggs in it. Some of the bread recipes you might see on the internet have a cup of egg whites. Well, that's really nice if you've got lots of eggs handy or you've got a chicken laying fresh ones outside. But if you don't, you know, they can be quite expensive. So I like the fact that this recipe contains whole eggs. You've got your good cholesterol there in the middle, loads of protein, which is really good. And what I noticed too is that because you've got the psyllium husk fibre in there, psyllium husk has its own aroma. So it kind of balances out the aroma of the eggs, because sometimes, let's be honest, if you're making a bread recipe with lots of eggs in it, it can be a little bit potent, which I'm not really a fan of. So this really balances out that aroma very nicely. Okay, I'm going to blend these together. I am so lazy. I'm not going to whisk them when I can blend them really, really fast. Here we go. Oh, you like the new kitchen angle, Rachel? Good stuff. Oh, Abby Leaf, you want my chocolate self-saucing pudding recipe? It is absolutely sensational. The ladies in my Facebook group, who are all on their own low-carb journey with me, they've all made it. They've been eating it for breakfast and for lunch. It is divine. Who else is on the stream tonight? Gosh, there's so many of you. Good to see you guys from all around the world tonight. Alison Brewer, hello, beautiful lady. Good to see you. Right. Pity, good to see you on tonight's stream as well. Welcome to the kitchen. This is the bread recipe. Now, by the way, if you aren't on my mailing list, you need to be. On the front page of my website, you can sign up for my mailing list. I'm just putting in those 4 eggs right now, like that. Give that a quick stir through. If you're not on my mailing list, you need to be, because every week I send a new recipe. So visit my website. There's a whole bunch of recipes already on there. And as well as that, if you sign up for my Facebook group, you can also have, which you can do through my website, you can also have a 20-minute Skype call with me so that we can look at what your diet's doing. If you're not getting the results you want, we can tweak things together and create you a new menu plan. So I have in here my melted coconut oil. That's going to pour through as well very nicely and mix that through. So on my website, this recipe has already been loaded there. It will be on the front page very, very shortly, because I always like to load my recipes up either just prior or just after my live stream. Now, the last thing we need, I've pre-boiled the kettle. So this is quite a wet recipe. It's not like your traditional bread. It is quite a moist recipe, and that's because the ingredients in here are quite drying, and particularly that psyllium husk fibre, it does require a lot of moisture, and you'll notice that when the whole recipe sets. Okay, half a cup of warm to hot water. That goes in there, and this is very interesting to me because it's the water that I think really starts to activate that psyllium husk fibre. So it reminds me, it has that same look as when you put water and yeast together. It's kind of brewing a little bit. We're just gonna mix that all through. So just half a cup of hot water right there. You probably think, oh, this looks a bit like porridge. Yeah, it kind of does. This is quite a wet recipe. Shouldn't be quite this wet. I've probably put in a little bit too much water there. But you get the idea. Mix it through. Don't over mix it. That's the other key. So when it comes to serving it, to cooking it, you're going to bake it in a baking tin. This one will give you a loaf about that thick. If you've got a smaller baking tin, it will make it a little bit higher when you go to bake it. You want to preset your oven to 200 degrees Celsius. And I always cook everything on fan bake. It's just my rule of thumb. I really like it. I learnt from a chef that I worked with years and years ago that if you cook it on fan bake, it aerates everything, particularly good for baking. Whether that's true or an old wives' tale, I'm not sure, but it seems to work for me every time. Okay, I'm going to pour my mixture into my baking tin, which I've lined with baking paper, by the way, like that. Now it's an unusual mix in the fact that when I put it in here, the first thing that it reminds me of is it smells like I'm making something with coconut flour, and it's just because of that mix of the psyllium husk fibre and the almond meal. It has almost a coconutty kind of aroma, which is very, very nice. So there you go. Oh yes, Lynn Nolan said the self-saucing pudding is divine. I know, right? It's amazing. So there is your bread. I mean, was that hard? So it's got 6 ingredients in there. You're going to pop this in the oven And this will bake in around, gosh, probably around 35 minutes. And the way that you'll know it's done is when the top has gone all golden brown and delicious looking. And you want to grab a small knife. I'll just grab one to show you. Oh, let me show you one I prepared earlier actually. Here's one of the loaves that I've made. So I'll pop this one in the oven too. And the way to test it is to grab a knife, or you might have a knitting needle, or you might have a toothpick. And you basically want to insert your knife in there so that it comes out clean. When it comes out clean, you know it's perfectly cooked, and that's what you want. So you've got your loaf of bread, you know it's all goldeny brown. I remember my grandmother back in the day, she used to tap bread, and if it sounded hollow, yeah, it is. It's done. It slices beautifully. Look at this. And those are your serving slices. Now, if you look at it and you go, "Ooh, that's not very much," I'll tell you what, because this is loaded with fiber, and because it's loaded with that almond meal, there's quite a bit of fat content in here. There's about, once you get rid of the amount of fiber in here, I think this works out at about 1.5 to 2 grams of carbs per slice. So incredibly low in carbs, but let me show you what it looks like on the inside. See, it's very fibrous. It's incredibly soft like bread, and it's got that crust on the outside, and it's still quite spongy like real bread is. Let me see, how does this taste? This is still warm from the oven actually. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that is so good. It has a beautiful flavor, almost a little bit like a sourdough bread, or oh yeah, or a really nice nutty wholemeal bread. And what would I put on top of that? Well, if it's straight from the oven, what are we going to do? We're always going to load it with butter, which if you're a low carber or you're on the keto diet, well, of course, butter is our friend. For me, I really love this particular loaf with a good smattering of pesto. Now then I would load maybe some chopped up cherry tomatoes on there as well, because I love cherry tomatoes. You could have some avocado with a little bit of cayenne pepper sprinkled on top. Really, really nice. Smashed avo, cayenne pepper, and a sprinkle of pepper on there as well. Beautiful. How does that taste together? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's amazing. The texture is still soft and spongy. It's not as soft as your traditional highly processed white bread. This is a bit more like a wholemeal. The flavor is great. The texture is awesome. It's everything I'm looking for in my ultimate comfort food loaf. So if you're like me, you might load it up with cheese and pesto and yummy things and ham. Or you can the next day mix up some eggs and some milk. Throw in some of your favorite preferred sweetener. I use stevia. Blend it all together with a little bit of cinnamon. Dunk your pieces of bread in the next day. Fry them in the pan, and you've got the perfect low-carb French toast. So there you go. This is the easiest, best, closest to white bread tasting recipe, which is low-carb, that I've ever found. Now, if you want the recipe, go to my website, moniquebradley.tv, and remember too, you can join my Facebook group. Tonight in my Facebook group, I'll be showing people how to make low-carb hash browns, which is one of my absolute favorites. Oh, hello, good evening to Takonia, who's watching tonight too. Good to see you, Rashik Chandra, Michael Shane, Jeet Wadwa. I hope I said that right. Good to see you guys. But yeah, when you go to my website, there's a bunch of low-carb recipes on there which have helped me lose weight, helped me get rid of my IBS, helped reverse, I was pre-diabetic, so it's helped me reverse my health, and it's helped me reduce my blood pressure as well. Importantly, my quality of life has improved, and that's purely by choosing foods that don't inflame my body, but fuel them. For me, low carb's the way to go. All right. A very quick tutorial tonight. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you've got any questions on the Facebook page that you're watching from, send me a message. I'm happy to answer your questions if you've got any questions about tonight's recipe or anything about your own journey. Oh, Gina Sterling, looks yum, have to try, finish my bread rolls first. Yes, Gina, I know your bread rolls, your low carb bread rolls look amazing. Fantastic. Abby Leaf, glad you like the look of this. Seriously, so easy, and it's a great recipe for anybody who might be glucose sensitive, so they might have type 2 diabetes, and they're really watching their blood sugar levels as well. This is really low in carbohydrates, so it's something you can still enjoy without compromising your health. All right, time for me to head away. Great to see you guys on the stream. Please, please like and share tonight's stream, especially if you are wanting to save this stream to your own timeline so you can watch it again. Make sure you share it so that your friends will be able to see it, but most importantly, you can come back and watch again. Time for me to go. Thanks to Pete, my producer and director, for making this happen, and thanks to you guys for watching. Remember, MoniqueBradley.tv, that's where the magic happens. See you guys again. Stay fabulous.